Caleb had always found solace in the rhythmic clink of metal against metal, the sweet scent of motor oil, and the soothing tunes of classic rock that played softly in the background. Each time he turned a wrench or adjusted a carburetor, it felt like he was reconnecting with a piece of his soul, a legacy passed down from his beloved grandmother, Lillian. Their bond was forged in the flickering light of the garage, where countless weekends were spent restoring old cars, laughing, and sharing stories. But as he stood in front of the gleaming 1970 Mustang, a symbol of their shared dreams, Caleb felt a weight heavier than any engine block resting on his shoulders. Before we dive deeper into Caleb's poignant journey, I invite you to take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support is crucial in helping us share these heartfelt stories that touch on the essence of family, love, and resilience. By subscribing, you ensure that these tales reach more hearts and inspire others just like you. So, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button now. As he polished the Mustang's cherry red exterior, Caleb's thoughts drifted to the recent diagnosis that had shattered their tranquil lives. Lillian, vibrant and full of life, had been diagnosed with cancer, a cruel twist that was both sudden and aggressive. The news struck like a bolt of lightning, leaving Caleb reeling in disbelief. He had always been the strong one, the one who fixed things, but this was beyond his mechanical skills. The medical bills piled up like car parts in a junkyard, each one a reminder of the battle they were now facing together. Caleb remembered the days spent in the garage, Lillian's laughter ringing out as they worked side by side. She taught him everything she knew, not just about cars but about life, about the importance of tenacity, of never giving up. Now, those lessons echoed in his mind as he faced an impossible choice. The Mustang, a dream they had nurtured together, now felt like a burden. It was a bittersweet reminder of better times, but it was also a lifeline, a way to give Lillian the care she desperately needed. With each passing day, Lillian's health declined. Caleb watched as the vibrant woman who had once filled their home with laughter became increasingly frail. He could see the fear in her eyes, a fear that mirrored his own. He wanted to shield her from the harsh realities of their situation, but the truth was undeniable. Time was running out. He had always believed in the power of family, and now it was time to prove it. The decision to sell the Mustang was heart-wrenching. Caleb had saved every penny he could, laboring at the local garage, dreaming of the day he would finally drive that classic beauty on the open road. He could almost hear Lillian's voice, cheering him on, urging him to follow his dreams. But now, those dreams took a back seat to the urgent need for medical treatment. He could hardly bear to think about letting go of the car that represented their shared hopes, but deep down, he knew what he had to do. As he posted the ad online, his heart raced with a mixture of hope and dread. He meticulously described the car, each detail a reminder of the memories they had created together. It was more than just a vehicle. It was a manifestation of their love, a testament to their bond. When the calls began to come in, Caleb felt a pang of regret with each one. Would the new owner appreciate the history behind the car? Would they understand the love that had gone into restoring it? Finally, he arranged to meet a potential buyer, a fellow car enthusiast who promised to care for the Mustang as if it were his own. As Caleb handed over the keys, he felt as though he was relinquishing a piece of his heart. The buyer, an older gentleman with a twinkle in his eye, assured him that he would cherish the car and drive it often, but it did little to soothe Caleb's heartbreak. He watched as the Mustang disappeared from view, feeling as though he had lost a part of himself. With the money from the sale, he was able to cover Lillian's initial treatments. The relief was fleeting. Even as he paid the bills, he could see the toll that the illness was taking on her. Each day brought new challenges, new fears, and Caleb found himself spiraling into a world of sleepless nights and worry. He took on a second job at the local diner, working tirelessly to make ends meet and provide for Lillian's growing medical needs. The clang of dishes and the hum of conversation became his new reality, but his mind remained anchored in the garage, where dreams were built and memories lingered. He pushed through the exhaustion, knowing that every hour spent working was another hour of care for his grandmother. But in the quiet moments of the night, when the diner was empty and the world outside was still, he often found himself reflecting on the sacrifices he was making. There was a bittersweet irony in his situation. He was giving up his dreams to support the woman who had inspired them. Each time he wiped the sweat from his brow, Caleb felt the weight of his choices, but he also felt a sense of purpose. Lillian, aware of the toll her illness was taking on Caleb, began to write him letters. Each one was filled with love, encouragement, and the wisdom only a grandmother could impart. She spoke of resilience, of the importance of chasing dreams even in the face of adversity. As he read her words, Caleb felt a renewed sense of determination. Lillian's strength ignited a fire within him, reminding him of the bond they shared and the values she had instilled in him. In one of her letters, she recounted their summer days in the garage, filled with laughter and music. "Remember, Caleb," she wrote, "the world may be tough, but so are you. Never lose sight of what you love." Her words were a balm to his weary soul, a reminder that love was a powerful force that could transcend even the most challenging circumstances. As the weeks turned into months, the strain of balancing work and caregiving took its toll on Caleb. He was exhausted physically and emotionally, but he kept pushing forward. The diner staff noticed his fatigue, their concerned glances a silent acknowledgement of the burden he carried. Yet, he brushed off their worries, convinced that he could handle it all. After all, family was worth every sacrifice. One fateful evening, as he returned home from the diner, Caleb found Lillian sitting at the kitchen table, her hands clasped around a letter. A soft smile graced her lips, but there was a hint of sadness in her eyes. Caleb's heart sank as he approached her, sensing that something profound was about to unfold. Little did he know, this moment would change the course of their journey in ways he could never have imagined. "Caleb," Lillian began, her voice steady despite the frailty that had come to define her. "I've been doing a lot of thinking lately." She gestured for him to sit, and he pulled a chair close, his heart racing with apprehension. This was the moment he had dreaded, the conversation he hoped would never happen. "I know things have been hard," she continued, her eyes searching his for understanding. "And I can see how hard you're working for me. I want you to know how proud I am of you." Her words washed over him like a warm wave, but the undertow of sorrow was still present. "Grandma, I'm just doing what anyone would do," he replied, his voice barely above a whisper. "You've always been there for me. I just want to return the favor." Lillian shook her head gently, a mixture of gratitude and sorrow in her expression. "It's more than that, Caleb. You've sacrificed so much. The Mustang was our dream, and I see how much it meant to you. But I want you to promise me something." Caleb felt a knot form in his stomach. "What is it?" "I want you to promise me that you won't lose yourself in this. That you'll keep dreaming, keep working toward what you want. I don't want my illness to be the reason you give up on your passions." His throat tightened, emotions swirling within him like a tempest. "But Grandma, I can't just walk away from you. You're my priority." "I know that," she said softly, squeezing his hand. "But I've lived a good life, Caleb. I've had my adventures, my dreams. Now it's your turn. You have so much potential, and I don't want you to bury it in my shadow." The weight of her words settled on him, heavy yet liberating. He had never thought of it that way. He had always believed that caring for her meant sacrificing his own future. But Lillian was offering him a chance to reclaim a part of himself, a part that had dimmed under the pressure of her illness. "Promise me, Caleb," she urged, her eyes glistening with emotion. "Promise me that you'll chase your dreams, even if it means stepping away from this for a bit." "Okay, I promise," he replied, his voice thick with emotion. "But it's not going to be easy." "Nothing worth having ever is," she reminded him, a hint of her old spirit shining through. "And remember, I'll always be with you, cheering you on, no matter what." Tears pricked at the corners of Caleb's eyes as he nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility shift. Lillian's unwavering support had always been his anchor, and now, as he considered her words, he felt a flicker of hope ignite within him. Perhaps it was time to find a balance. Time to honor Lillian's sacrifices while also nurturing his own dreams. The days that followed were a delicate dance of emotions. Caleb continued to work tirelessly at the diner during the day and spent his evenings tending to Lillian's needs. But he also began to carve out small pockets of time for himself. He returned to the garage, a sacred space filled with memories of laughter and love. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow across the sky, Caleb found himself standing in front of the Mustang's empty spot. It felt like a gaping hole, a reminder of what he had lost. But instead of wallowing in sorrow, he envisioned the car as a symbol of resilience, a testament to the bond he shared with his grandmother. He pulled out his tools and began to tinker with an old motorcycle that had been gathering dust in the corner. It wasn't the Mustang, but it was a start. As he worked, the rhythm of the garage enveloped him, and the familiar scent of oil and metal filled his senses. He felt alive again, reconnected to the dreams that had once defined him. One afternoon, as he took a break from his labor, Caleb noticed an old box tucked away in the corner, hidden beneath a pile of rags. Curious, he dug it out and opened it to reveal a treasure trove of memories. Photographs of Lillian with her friends, snapshots of family gatherings, and even a few faded letters that chronicled her own dreams from when she was younger. As he sifted through the items, a sense of nostalgia washed over him. Each piece told a story, each photograph a glimpse into the life Lillian had built before he came into the world. He could feel her spirit wrapped around him like a warm embrace, urging him to keep moving forward, to keep chasing after the dreams they had shared. With renewed purpose, Caleb decided to visit the local car show that weekend. It was an opportunity to not only see stunning vehicles, but also to connect with fellow car enthusiasts and share stories. As he walked through the event, he felt a sense of camaraderie with the other attendees, a connection that reminded him of the warmth he had experienced with Lillian in the garage. He spotted a booth featuring classic cars and approached, his heart racing with excitement at the sight of restored beauties. One vehicle in particular caught his eye, a red Mustang, sleek and polished, gleaming under the sunlight. It was a different model, but the resemblance to his own dream car was uncanny. As he admired the Mustang, an older gentleman approached him. "Beautiful, isn't she?" The man remarked, a warm smile lighting up his face. Caleb nodded, his voice barely above a whisper. "Yeah, I had a Mustang once. Sold it to help my grandmother." The man's expression shifted to one of understanding. "That's a noble thing to do. Family comes first, right?" "Yeah," Caleb said, his chest tightening. "But it's hard to let go of something that meant so much." "Sometimes, letting go is just the beginning of something new," the man replied, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "I sold my first car too, for similar reasons, but it led me to a better one, a chance to restore something even more special." Caleb mulled over the man's words, feeling a flicker of hope. Restoring? Absolutely. It could be a journey. You never know what you might find along the way. As the afternoon wore on, Caleb engaged with other enthusiasts, sharing stories and laughter. He found himself rekindling the passion he had for mechanics, the very love that had fueled his connection with Lillian. Each conversation felt like a step toward healing, a reaffirmation of the dreams they had cherished together. When he returned home that evening, he found Lillian sitting in her favorite chair, wrapped in a cozy blanket, her eyes lighting up at the sight of him. "How was the car show?" "It was amazing, Grandma. I saw so many beautiful cars and I met some great people." "I'm glad to hear that," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "You deserve to enjoy yourself, Caleb." "I've been thinking about what you said," he admitted, sitting down in front of her. "About chasing dreams. I want to honor that." Her smile widened, and in that moment, he could see the pride radiating from her. "Then let's do it together. We can find a way to keep your dreams alive while we face this together." Caleb felt a surge of gratitude as he realized that the journey ahead would not be one of solitude. They were in this together, two souls bound by love and resilience, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the days that followed, Caleb made a plan. He would continue working at the diner and caring for Lillian, but he would also dedicate a few hours each week to restoring the old motorcycle he had found. It would be a project that honored both his passion and the legacy of their shared love for mechanics. As he worked on the motorcycle, he could feel Lillian's spirit beside him, guiding his hands as he tightened bolts and polished chrome. Each turn of the wrench felt more purposeful, a reminder of the bond they shared. With every passing day, as he transformed the motorcycle into a beautiful machine, he felt a sense of hope blossom within him, a hope that mirrored the love he had for his grandmother. And as Lillian watched him work, her heart swelled with pride. She knew they were both on a journey of healing, one that would take them through the trials of illness, but also through the triumphs of dreams rekindled. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to comment from where you are hearing this amazing story. As the weeks progressed, Caleb's life became a tapestry woven with threads of sacrifice, love, and newfound aspirations. With each stroke of the wrench, he honored Lillian's legacy while nurturing his own. He could feel the rhythm of their lives sinking once more, reminding him that even in the darkest moments, the light of family and dreams would always find a way to shine through. Caleb spent countless evenings in the garage, the sounds of metal clinking and engines humming resonating with memories of laughter and shared dreams. The motorcycle began to take shape under his diligent hands, each piece fitting together like a puzzle that told their story. Lillian, though frail, would sit nearby, her eyes sparkling with pride as she watched him breathe new life into the machine. "Remember when we worked on that old Ford?" she mused one evening, her voice soft yet filled with nostalgia. "We had no idea what we were doing, but we figured it out together." Caleb chuckled, wiping his brow with the back of his hand. "I remember you saying that if we could fix that rust bucket, we could fix anything. And look at you now," she said, her gaze warm. "You're not just fixing things, you're creating something beautiful." Each day brought a renewed sense of purpose. Caleb found himself dreaming again, not just of cars, but of the life he wanted to build, one where he could honor Lillian's sacrifices while also pursuing his own happiness. The motorcycle, once a forgotten relic, became a beacon of hope and resilience. One quiet Saturday morning, Caleb decided to take a break from the motorcycle project and visit the local farmer's market. He wanted to bring Lillian something special, a small reminder of their summer adventures spent wandering through stalls filled with fresh produce and handmade goods. As he strolled through the market, he felt a sense of normalcy wash over him, a feeling that had eluded him for so long. He picked up a bouquet of flowers, their vibrant colors a stark contrast to the gray clouds of worry that had loomed over them for months. As he returned home, the scent of fresh blooms filled the air, and he felt a sense of joy bubbling within him. "Look what I found," he announced, entering the house with a flourish. Lillian's eyes widened with delight as he presented the flowers. "Oh, Caleb, they're beautiful," she exclaimed, her frail hands reaching for the bouquet. "You always know how to brighten my day." They spent the afternoon arranging the flowers together, laughter and stories filling the space between them. For the first time in a long while, Caleb felt a sense of relief, as if a weight had been lifted. It was a reminder that despite the hardships they faced, moments of joy were still possible. As the weeks turned into months, Caleb continued to balance work, caregiving, and his passion for mechanics. He often returned to the garage after long shifts at the diner, finding solace in the familiar surroundings. With every bolt he tightened on the motorcycle, he felt more connected to Lillian, their shared dreams intertwining with his own aspirations. One evening, as he put the finishing touches on the motorcycle, Lillian shuffled into the garage, her eyes bright with excitement. "Are you ready for the big reveal?" she asked, her voice filled with anticipation. Caleb beamed at her enthusiasm. "Absolutely. Just give me a second." He stepped back, wiping his hands on a rag, and stood proudly beside the motorcycle. With a flourish, he pulled the cover away, revealing the gleaming machine. It shone in the dim light, a testament to their journey together. Lillian's eyes filled with tears as she took in the sight. "It's magnificent, Caleb. You've done an incredible job," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. He felt a swell of pride in his chest, but it was quickly followed by a pang of sadness. "I wish it were the Mustang, Grandma," he admitted. "Oh, sweet boy," she said, moving closer to him. "The spirit of that car lives on in everything you create. This motorcycle is a new chapter for both of us." Caleb nodded, the truth of her words resonating deeply. "I just want to make you proud." "You already do," she replied, placing her hand on his shoulder. "And I want you to enjoy this. Take it for a ride. Feel the wind in your hair and the freedom of the open road." He hesitated, a wave of nerves washing over him. "But what if something goes wrong?" Lillian smiled gently. "You've learned so much, Caleb. Trust in yourself. Take that leap. I'll always be with you, cheering you on." Those words ignited a fire within him. With Lillian's encouragement echoing in his heart, Caleb decided to take the motorcycle out for a spin. He donned his helmet, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension, and rolled the bike out of the garage. As he climbed onto the seat, he glanced back at Lillian, who watched from the porch, a proud smile adorning her face. He revved the engine gently, feeling the vibrations beneath him. In that moment, he felt a sense of liberation wash over him. With one last look at his grandmother, he took off down the road, the wind whipping through his hair, the roar of the engine a beautiful symphony of freedom. The world opened up before him, a vast expanse of possibilities. He felt alive, the burdens of worry and fear falling away with each turn of the wheels. As he rode, memories flooded his mind. Endless summer days spent in the garage, laughter shared, dreams nurtured. With every mile, he felt Lillian's presence beside him, her spirit urging him to embrace life fully, to live for both of them. Returning home, Caleb parked the motorcycle and rushed to Lillian, excitement bubbling within him. "It was incredible, Grandma. I felt so free." Her eyes sparkled with joy. "I knew you would. You've always had that spark in you." In the weeks that followed, Caleb continued to ride the motorcycle, each journey reinforcing the bond he shared with Lillian. He found a balance between caring for her and nurturing his own dreams. Their lives became intertwined in a way that celebrated both sacrifice and love, a testament to the resilience of family. As Lillian's health began to decline, Caleb remained by her side, but he also encouraged her to share her dreams, her stories, her hopes, and her laughter. They spent evenings reminiscing, creating new memories even as time slipped through their fingers. One evening, as they sat together in the living room, Lillian pulled out a small envelope she had been keeping. "Caleb, there's something I want you to have," she said, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. He took the envelope from her, his heart racing. Inside, he found a small amount of money, an inheritance she had saved over the years. "I want you to use this to buy back your Mustang one day," she said, her eyes filled with love. "Grandma, I can't take this." "It's yours," he protested, but Lillian shook her head firmly. "It's not about the money, Caleb. It's about the dreams we shared. I want you to have the chance to chase them, to rebuild what was lost." Tears brimmed in his eyes as he realized the weight of her gift. It wasn't just money. It was a promise of hope and future possibilities. "Thank you, Grandma," he whispered, pulling her into a tight embrace. As the days turned into nights, Caleb continued to be Lillian's rock. He took her for rides on the motorcycle, the wind in their faces a reminder of the joy they still shared. They laughed, they cried, and they cherished every moment together. Eventually, the inevitable came. On a quiet morning, as the sun streamed through the window, Lillian passed peacefully, leaving behind a legacy of love, resilience, and dreams. Caleb held her hand tightly, feeling the warmth fade, knowing that she would always be with him, guiding him as he navigated the road ahead. In the days that followed, Caleb mourned the loss of his grandmother, but he also remembered her words, her encouragement to chase dreams, to embrace life fully. With the inheritance she had left him, he made a promise to honor her memory. Months later, he found himself standing in front of a familiar sight, a classic 1970 Mustang, restored to its former glory. It was as if the car had been waiting for him all along, just like the dreams he had thought lost. As he placed his hand on the car's hood, he felt a rush of emotion, memories flooding back. This was more than just a car. It was a symbol of their journey, a testament to the love they had shared. With a deep breath, he opened the door and slid into the driver's seat. The engine roared to life, and for the first time in a long while, He felt the exhilaration of hope and possibility. As he drove off into the sunset, the road stretching out before him, he knew that he was not alone. Lillian's spirit was with him, encouraging him, cheering him on, reminding him that love and dreams are eternal, and that even in loss, we find the strength to carry on.